a really commonly asked question I get is, how long should I be taking antidepressants before I feel some impact, some change, some positive changes in my life, the way I'm feeling, my mood? And it's important to note, actually, it's quite a long journey. Now, the medication can kick in fairly quickly. If you've had any of the side effects associated with the first couple of weeks, you'll realize, or if you've watched any of my side effects videos, you'll know that it can kick in like 30 minutes, the side effects, unfortunately. But actually the benefits can take longer. In fact, the guidance that I believe GPs are using at the moment in England is that they would expect a course to run around 12 months. So 6 to 12 months, they would expect to see some change start to occur. And the guidance itself from Zoloft or Sertraline would suggest that their kind of expectation is around 12 weeks upwards. So that's a bit of a bitter pill to swallow, no pun intended. But what we've got to realize is that consistency in those early days is what's going to allow that change to happen. If you think about the task that antidepressants are doing, they're essentially helping to rewire the way your brain is working. Your brain is not functioning in the way that it should at the moment. So we're not dealing with stress or sadness. We're dealing with anxiety and depression. And these are medical disorders where there's an imbalance. Our neurotransmitters are not doing what they need to do. And we're taking a medication that's essentially having to go and fix that problem. That's inevitably going to take a long time. Now, because we're dealing with an imbalance of neurotransmitters, we're also having to deal with all of the kind of implications of that. Now, our brain is being affected by these meds from the moment that we take them. And it's going to take some weeks or months to get up to speed. But actually throughout that time, we're going to notice changes and in other things in our life. And that's why we struggle with some of those kind of side effects or repercussions of taking antidepressants. So like the exhaustion that hits some people, the lack of concentration, the upset stomachs, the reduction in libido or sexual dysfunction. All of these are impacted because our brain is having to work in a new way. It's deploying resources in ways that it hasn't had to do recently, and consequently it's draining resources from other places. So it's a really challenging experience because we will have kind of taken the opportunity to speak to someone. Perhaps if you were like the way I was 5 years ago, you've built up to this moment for weeks, months, or years, and you finally start taking them and you want to see some change. Now, what we need to understand is when I'm saying 6 to 12 months, that's for the real profound consistency in improvement of our mood or our anxieties. Before that, we should start to see some changes in the way that we deal with things. Hopefully within the first month, we would expect to see some uptick in our mood or the way that we're dealing with some of those anxiety triggers. And then over the series of months that follows, we would see that kind of slow improvement start to happen. But it's so crucial to bear in mind, and this is the conversation that I have so regularly, is this isn't like a quick thing. And I talked in a recent video about the work that you have to do around it. But you also need to understand that if you're going to take these medication, you can stop whenever you want, but if you're going to take this medication and you want to see it through, 6 months to 12 months is the time to evaluate whether it's working. Not week 2, not week 3, not month 2, not month 3. You need to give it time to get to work. If you've got any questions about your use of antidepressants, please do go and speak to your doctor. They are your number one professional for this sort of support. If you've got any informal questions, I'm happy to have them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.